Amy Scott Grant's your favorite spiritual ass kicker. Maybe your only spiritual ass kicker, but nonetheless, I'm here. So welcome. And okay, so here's the deal. Just going to level with you. Yesterday, I recorded a video for you wonderful person, and for the rest of our Patreon community, and I'm not happy with it. Like, I'm still going to post it because it's good information, but I don't feel good about making it a paid post. Why? I was a little scattered, a little like ungrounded. Hello, have you met this Mercury retrograde? It's kind of weird, right? It's good information, but I feel like I took like 8 minutes of solid content and I stretched it into 20. And I'm just not like super satisfied with it. So I'm going to share it with you, but I'm going to give it to you as a bonus. Okay. So I think it's everybody at $5 and up or something gets bonus content. Look for that tomorrow because I'll be posting that tomorrow. It's called Why the Hell Was 2017 So Frustrating and What Can We Expect in 2018? I don't think 2017 likes me bashing it a whole lot. So I kind of feel like that's part of why I was a little like meh when I was recording it. But at the very least, it's entertaining, if not succinct. So, because it's not succinct. Okay, so it's snowing here. Happy winter. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. It's all of those things. Well, I guess it's not technically winter because I'm recording this on the 14th. But, you know, happy everything right now, right? We celebrate it all in my house. Honestly, I have no idea what Kwanzaa is. So if I knew what it was, if you celebrated Happy Kwanzaa, maybe you could tell me what it is so I could celebrate that too. That'd be cool. But my husband's Jewish, right? And I'm recovering Catholic. So we do Christmas and Hanukkah and winter and all that. But that's not what I want to talk to you about today. Okay. What I want to talk to you about today is I want to give you some a valuable tool that I recently started using this year that has made a huge difference in anticipating different ups and downs in life. Okay. And actually not so much ups and downs in life as ups and downs in my mood, the mood of the people in my household, and kind of the rhythm and cycle of how we move through life. I never knew this existed until recently. So one of you might watch this and be like, damn, I've been knowing about that. Well, I wish you had told me because I only just found out this year. Okay. Because a friend of mine shared it with me. So moon cycles. Do you know about these moon cycles? Now, I'm not talking about full moon, new moon, quarter moon, waxing, waning. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about every few days, the moon is under the direction of a different planet. Now, you guys know I'm not an astrologist, so I'm probably not speaking to this as when I explain about how it works. I mean, you know me, right? I'm like, I don't really care. If it's a method and it works, I'm going to share it with you. The whole history behind it, Google it if you want to know what that means. So I'm a little clunky how I'm talking about how this works, but every few days, the moon is said to be in such and such, right? All the way through the zodiac, okay? So it's in Scorpio, or it's in Sagittarius, or it's in Taurus, like that. And it changes every 2 to 3 days. Now, some of these cycles are a little shorter than 48 hours, and some are 3 days full on. But okay, it's really cool. I didn't know that happened. The moon is in such and such right now. Actually, I probably should have looked up what it's in right now so I could tell you. But I know not everybody watches these videos instantaneously as soon as they're posted. So that's what I'm talking about when I say moon cycles. And I will post a link. There's a great website called moontracks.com. It's got everything you ever wanted to know about the moon and the planets and their position and what's where, when, and when it's shifting and what planet's going retrograde and all that kind of crap. But there's only one table that I actually use on this website, Moontracks. And so with this video, I'll post the link directly to that table, okay? But it's called the Lunar Ingress table. That's what I'm going to share with you. So it tells you which planet or which zodiac sign is sort of governing moon activity right now. Now, that may sound complicated, right? Because if you're like me, you know a few things about your sign, maybe you know a few things about your mate's sign, and that's about the extent of your knowledge of astrology, okay? Because that's pretty much how far it goes for me. I know some stuff about my kids, and then that's like pretty much it. And some people I've had, you know, maybe a person I've had a bad run-in with. I know a little bit about that sign, right? Because I Googled it. But I don't know a ton about zodiac signs. That's fine. You don't need to know any of this. This is not like, now remember, when the moon is in Scorpio, you know, passion will be high and tempers will be short. No, you don't have to know jack about the signs, okay? This is like the simplest thing about the moon cycles that will change your life. I have a chart. Do you guys want my chart? You know what? Because I love you here on Patreon. And I don't know where my card is, but I sure do love Gannon, who's at our spiritual ass kicker level. So big shout out to Gannon. Woo! Thanks for being here. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on, which is ironic because my light is off right now. But my computer's on because I'm recording this. So the power's on. That's a good thing. So thank you, Gannon. Thank you, everyone, for being here. But, you know, spiritual ass kicker level, you get a special shout out. So, yeah, since I love you guys and you're supporting me, I'm supporting you. I love this whole symbiotic thing we got going on, right? It's freaking awesome. I'm also going to post I have an Excel, it's an Excel spreadsheet, but to be honest, I don't track it online. I find it easier to track in pen. So, or maybe it's in Word, but anyway, it's a chart that you can use every month to track your moon cycles. Okay. So I'll post that too. So you'll have that as well. Okay, so before I tell you how to do this and how it works, let's talk about why. Why would you want to track moon cycles? If it doesn't have anything to do, like if you don't have to know about the zodiac signs to figure out what the hell it means, why would you bother tracking? Okay, you ready? This is very exciting. So what the person that introduced this to me told me is that she happened to notice we talk a lot. Like we email every day and we talk frequently. Okay. And like we're accountability partners. So we're intimately aware with what's going on in each other's lives and when the other person's having wins and when the other person's having stucks. Having they're stuck and frustrated. Okay. So she told me she knows exactly when in the moon cycle she'll like have a complete meltdown. And I was like, earlier this year, I had like these days, it was a couple times a month, had nothing to do with my cycle, right? My lady cycle. So I was like, have you ever had a day where you just like, you were upset all day and you could not point your finger at something like, oh, it's because of that, or it's because this, or it's the anniversary of that, or I'm about to get my period, or I'm stressed because it's the last day of the month and I got to make payroll. Like there was nothing you could point to. You were just distraught and the whole day. And then you woke up the next day and you were fine. Have you ever had a day like that? Or a day where you just were sad. You were so sad and you're like, I don't know, I'm so sad. I'm just so sad today. Like every kitten that came up on Facebook and like every, welcome home commercial, you're just like bawling like it's a Hallmark movie or something. And then the next day, back to normal, right? If you're like me, you probably chalked it up to hormones. Or you went, what the hell is wrong with me? What is the matter with me? Even though it didn't make any sense hormonally based on your cycle. You might have been like, oh, it must be hormones. No, let me tell you, it's probably the freaking moon cycle. Okay, so the reason to track it is so that you know when the moon is in this, you're probably going to have this kind of day, or you're more prone to have this kind of day. Okay. So what I learned, the person that told me this, like she knew she had complete like sad breakdowns, like just crying. I don't have, nothing's going right in my life. Like that when the moon was in Aries. But because she only knew this because she tracked her moon cycles. Now, that doesn't mean that Aries is shitty in the moon cycle. That means for her, when the moon was in Aries, okay? And for me, it was Pisces, although it changed, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But for me, it was like, I had like like 2 or 3 months in a row. And I'm like, I just feel like I just like couldn't like despair is the best way. Like I was just in deep despair. And I'm like, it's so dark and I don't understand why I feel this way. And she would like look it up. And finally we figured out, she's like, you need to track your moon cycles. And I found out it was Pisces for me. Okay. Now I wish I could remember the name of the person she learned this from. Sorry. Cause you know, I like to give credit. I can't remember his name. I'm sure she would know if I asked her. Some of you might have studied with this guy. I know it was a guy, but she said what she learned from him was to track your moon cycles. And what he said, this unnamed expert who should get credit for this, for tracking your moon cycles, what this expert said was pretty much everybody has like one super awesome cycle of the month, like where you were like the golden child for those 2 or 3 days. Or for me, it's Scorpio, which just happens to be my sign, but that doesn't mean that your zodiac sign is going to be your peak time, okay, of the cycle. And by the way that it runs, sometimes a zodiac sign gets repeated in a month. I don't analyze it. I just like pull up the information, fill out my chart, and go by my chart, okay? Because I'm recording my charts that have historical data so that I know. So this guy says you got like one cycle a month. That's like cherry. Okay. It's like, not like cherry that's in our Patreon group, but well, yeah, kind of like cherry, like just freaking awesome. Right. So it's just like, or plum or whatever your favorite, best fruit ever, analogy is. Okay. Or I guess technically metaphor, but, no, simile is like, or S. Yeah. It'd be a simile, whatever is like plum, whatever is like cake, right? Whatever is just like, my God, like everything's rocking and rolling. For me, it is massive productivity. Like when the mood is in Scorpio and I usually start feeling a push a day or two before, like I need to get organized, I need to get ready to rock. And those are like my highest productivity time of the month is when the moon is in Scorpio. Okay. So everybody pretty much has a thing like that. It might not be productivity for you. It might just be happy. That might be when you're super happy, or that might be when you feel super creative, or that might be when you feel really sexy and attractive, or that might be when maybe you're not a super social person, but when the moon is in such and such, you're like, hey, I want to go out. I want to see people. I want to mingle. Okay. So everybody's got like a really high, and pretty much everybody also has a moon cycle that's like super shitty, for lack of a better way to say it. Okay. Just like for me, for a few months this year, it showed up like despair. I mean, full on. It was horrible. For my friend that told me about this, it was just like, it was sadness. There was another point in the year where that cycle meant pain. Like I ended up having like physical pain, mysterious physical pain, gone. Literally as soon as the moon shifted in the next cycle, it was gone. Okay. So this is why to track it, because just like Mercury retrograde, right? You guys know, I don't caution anybody to like stay home and not sign contracts and not spend any money and not talk to anyone and not drive anywhere, fly anywhere during Mercury retrograde. I've never done that. I advise people to be mindful and cautious when they're doing those things on the day it goes direct and the day it goes retrograde, right? But I've never said like, you shouldn't do anything during, I've never said that, okay? Because that would be giving away our power to astrology. It's sort of weird. Planetary alignment. Come on. We're more powerful than that, right? However, it is super smart for you to know when the moon is when Mercury is retrograde, which it is right now, right? We have like another week or so left. It's super smart for you to know. So if people are driving like friggin' morons, which is totally going on here, I've noticed that big time this cycle. If people are driving crazy, you could be like, oh, it's retro. Instead of taking it personally or being like, why are these jackasses cutting me off? It's like, oh, Mercury's retrograde. I should be careful. I'm going to be extra careful today. I'm going to be mindful, right? It's not based out of fear. It's based out of intellect and responsiveness, awareness. Okay. I would really encourage you to take that same approach if you decide to start tracking your moon cycles. Same thing. Don't be like, oh shit, here comes Taurus. Everything's going to go bonkers. I might as well just crawl into bed for 2 days. Not telling you to do that. Okay. But like maybe try not to plan a big presentation at work on your like bad cycle day if you can help it. Or if you can, maybe get extra sleep or like reassure yourself beforehand, right? Like just take countermeasures, right? That's all I'm advising. And, you know, if like, let's say Aquarius is like your peak, like your cherry time, right? Like, oh my God, Aquarius, I get so much done. It's so amazing. Maybe don't sleep in that day. Maybe don't pick that as the day to, you know, like play hooky and go to the park, because you're probably actually going to be irritated that you're not getting stuff done on your super productive cycle day. Okay. So it just helps you in terms of understanding your rhythm and what to expect. I could tell you, okay, so then I took it to the next level, right? I tracked it for myself for a few months and I learned what my like awesome cycle was and what my cycle was. And then I started tracking everyone else in the house. Now I did this all in the same sheet the chart that I'm going to provide you. I just put a note, like whatever. I'm not like super anal retentive when it comes to this kind of tracking. I just put whatever I felt was relevant. So I started to notice that when the moon is in Taurus, I need an extra hour of sleep. I mean, that's pretty easy to plan, right? If you knew you needed an extra hour of sleep 2 to 3 nights a month sequentially, do you think you could plan to get that at least one of those? Do you think you could work in a nap on the other days? Like, I'm just dragging ass getting out of bed when the moon is in Taurus. It's really useful for me to know that 2 to 3 days a month, right? I'm not going to plan. Why would I plan something at 7 a.m. anyway? But I mean, like, I wouldn't if I know the moon's in Taurus. I'd be like, let's just do it 2 days later, you know, or the next day or whatever. Or let's start at 10. I wouldn't plan anything late at night either because I know I'm going to be tired and I need my rest. So I started to track, and what I noticed is like there's certain cycles. There's one moon cycle where like everyone in the house loses their shit except me. It's Virgo in my house. When the moon is in Virgo, my kids are just like crying for no reason. Everyone's upset. You could look at them funny and they're like, why don't you love me anymore? I'm like, oh my God, right? So I've come to know from tracking this for a while that when the moon is in Virgo, I need to be extra compassionate and I need to be the rock, right? So I got to make sure when the moon, that's a bad day for mommy to go out of town because I'm literally the only person in my household that is not losing their shit when the moon is in Virgo. Okay. And Virgo is like nothing for me. Like I've tracked that. Like I don't notice anything different when the moon's in Virgo. So, but because it's a really hard day for the other 4 people in my household, I know like I just have to be stable. Like don't fly off the handle. Don't get upset. Don't pick on anybody for anything for 2 days. Like not even as a joke because, oh my God, they're going to be so wounded. And then everyone's crying and upset and it's really, so like everyone loses their shit in Virgo, but only in my house. It might not happen in your house. It might be a totally different cycle. Okay. So this has helped me tremendously. So I'm strongly encouraging you. Again, I'm just checking my list here and make sure I say, oh, this is really important to know. It can change. Like I said, when I first started tracking, Pisces was like freaking Beelzebub as far as I was concerned, like trying to suck me in this deep, dark hole, you know? And then, but knowing that the next time Pisces came around, when I started to get that sense of despair or dread, I went, hang on, it's just Pisces. You're going to feel better in about 30 hours. Okay. We can endure anything for 30 hours, right? Like as long as we know there's an endpoint. And damn if it doesn't turn at that moment. Now, I don't know if that is dependent on how sensitive you are to energy. I'm definitely more sensitive to shifts in energy. So, you know, like I couldn't even freaking sleep for like 2 nights before the supermoon. I don't know what was going on with that, right? Supermoon and moon, sun, Mercury in retrograde and all that. So I'm kind of sensitive to that kind of stuff. But I can tell you there's been times when I was like, man, I felt shitty until 4 p.m. And then all of a sudden at 4 p.m. I felt great. And then I go look up what happened at 4 p.m. Oh, the moon shifted into Scorpio, or the moon shifted into something else. It's amazing. It's so good. Like, you have to try this. Okay. I feel like this will really, really help you and have a positive impact on your life. Obviously, that's why I'm sharing it with you. So, but know that it can change. So it is important to track your cycles. And this chart that I'm posting for you, it's like so simple, right? It takes me about 5 or 6 minutes every month to like record when all the time changes are. And maybe I'll send you guys one of my, I don't know, it depends on how personal it is, but I'll look and see if I have like an old one that's filled out that I can send you. Not that you have to do it that way, but just so you can kind of see how I do it. Like, it's really simple. I don't even use all the boxes, and I created the form. Like, I found I don't need all the boxes. And you can certainly modify the form. Do whatever you want with it. I don't care. Do whatever works, right? Whatever works for you. But know that it can change, right? So Pisces was my horrible, horrible cycle. And then for a while, it was like, if it was the first day of Pisces, I was definitely getting my period. Like, like my cycle days went out the window, and it was like, nope, if it's Pisces, that's when it's going to be. Well, then I could start counting on that, kind of like clockwork. And then it changed again. And then like, I didn't even have a bad cycle for like 3 months. And then it was a different one. So I don't know. It could definitely change. Now, the person that told me about this, that was over a year ago that she told me she knew Aries was shitty for her. It's still shitty for her, still. So I would say, just, you know, I mean, the only way to know is to track it, right? If anything weird happens during the month, like, wow, I'm so tired. Like, I'm dragging ass today for no reason. I would jot that down. Dragging ass for no reason. Or it feels like everybody's picking on you, or you feel extra sensitive one day, or you just like can't stop eating sweets and you don't know why. Like, anything unusual that you notice, I would just track that. And then if you start seeing it like 2 or 3 months, you're like, oh, then you kind of know like what to watch out for. So then what I would start doing is, when I did the next month, I would put those little notations in, right? Like, Virgo, watch out. Family's going to lose their shit most likely, you know, so that I would know, right? Taurus, get an extra hour sleep. Do whatever you can to get that extra sleep in. You're probably going to be tired. Like, okay, I got it. And if I wasn't, you know, I didn't like implant that, like I will be tired during, it was just like, oh, okay, I may be tired, so let me get extra sleep as a precaution. So don't live and die by it. It's just meant to be a helpful tool, but I think it will help you a lot. All right. And it'll probably take you a couple cycles to get the rhythm. And if it feels, you know, to get your rhythm, and if it feels overwhelming to track everyone in your household, just do you. Like, that's going to be a big help. I mean, I was tracking myself for like 3 months, and then I started noticing, why is everybody losing their shit at the same time? Virgo. So why is the carpet all wet, Todd? I don't know, Virgo. Anyway, yeah, we've been watching a lot of Christmas movies around here, but so I think that'll really help you. I would love for you to post and let me know what your experience is with this and how it's helped you, and maybe you'll think of some use for it that I haven't come up with. I'd love to be able to use it for even more stuff and recommend it for even more stuff. So there you go. That's your video. I'll post a crappy one tomorrow. It's not crappy, but it's just not as good as this. It's not as well ordered as this one. I do really well when I have talking points, you know, like I just need a few words and then I know what to say and I stay on topic, except when I make Todd and Margot jokes, but worth it. All right. See you next time.